This may be a fiasco. All right, I'd like to call this meeting of the Spruce Mountain Town Council to order for January 13th. Wayne, if you lead us in prayer, and Rocky, if you do our pledge, we appreciate it.
Let's pray. Eternal Father, we're grateful today for the breath that you've given us, the life that you've offered us again today. We're grateful that you are the source of all wisdom, the source of all understanding, and we're asking for help in both of those departments tonight. Bless our evening, help us to do what's best for our town and for our people. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On your agenda, we need to remove from the action agenda the professional service contract between High Country Council of Governments and Town of Spruce Mountain. Michelle Ball is not going to be able to be here tonight. She's got the sickness, just like everybody else has got going around, so she won't be here to go over that. And also, under the approval of the minutes, we've got to add approval of the minutes for a closed session we had on 1/6 of 25. We had a special meeting there, but we also had a closed session. Let's see.
Did you get the resolution about the resolution for the finance officer?
The employment contract?
No, I sent it today. Did you get it, Richard?
If you send it this afternoon, I get my notice.
I sent it this morning.
Yeah. Run through.
Brooke had made copies. She should, is that on your list to add?
It's there, yeah, that should be added to the agenda. It's just to authorize the performance bond for the new interim town finance officer.
So that needs to go on our action agenda.
It does, yes.
Okay. Give me just a second. Look for all I've got piled up here. Motion approved. All right. For those additions and deletions, do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
A second.
Motion by Jackie, second by Wayne. All in favor? All right, we'll go down. Let's see whether they're in order here. Regular meetings minutes on the December the 9th.
Make a motion to approve this in the document.
Motion by Rocky. And second,
Second.
Beth? All in favor?
Aye.
Also on the ninth, we had a closed session meeting that night. Need a motion in a second to approve those minutes too.
Make a motion to approve those minutes.
So.
Motion by Jackie, second by Rob. All in favor?
Aye.
And let's see where we're at now. Public hearing we had on the ninth also. It was easy, that was a busy night. Motion second to approve the minutes from that public hearing. So Wayne, approve?
Yes.
Second by Rob. All in favor? All right. I see what I had, we have a special meeting on January the sixth.
Make a motion to approve those minutes.
So.
Jackie, Rob. All in favor?
Aye.
Well, we didn't meet. All right, we also had a closed session on January the seventh.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for closed session.
Second motion.
Jackie and Wayne, all in favor?
Aye.
And the last one was the addition to our agenda for a closed session on January the sixth.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Rocky,
I second the motion.
Wayne. All in favor?
Aye.
I don't think tonight we have any need for a closed session, there's really nothing we can discuss now. So we'll move on to public comment period. Does anybody sign up for Richard public comment?
No, they haven't.
No.
Nope.
All right, let's move on from that. We get into our action agenda, Doug Tennant. Presentation for 23-24 audit.
Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Everybody should have a copy of the audit report with them. It says draft on it, that's because the LGC has not approved it yet. So as soon as they get the final approval back, we'll send you the bound copy. But there shouldn't be any changes. I just want to go over a couple of things real quick. Your general fund this year, at the end of June, ended up being 4.8 million. Last year's 4.2, so it's up about 538,000. And your water and sewer fund went from 536 to 1.1 million. So your water and sewer fund will be a lot better this year. You got rid of any points for consideration, what the LGC is looking for, everything looked good. Your tax rate was a little bit over 98%, which is also good for a small town. We can go over the rest of this, but after the hurricane, all that changes. So what I'd like to do now is go over a little bit of what you need to be concerned with this year. Because for this current year, we'll have a lot of different funding coming in. So the town, more than likely, will be subject to what's called single audit. That means that once you get over federal funding over $1 million this year, that you have more compliance you have to do. So when you're talking to a new finance officer, that's what Crystal's looking for. But if you get a new finance officer, they need to understand this compliance work. So you can look on the state's website, find compliance supplements for FEMA or wherever you get the money from. Just for an example, I printed these off today. This is the FEMA compliance from this year. So any type of funding you get, you can find these on the state's website, the LGC. This is what we have to look at in addition to the regular work. So the importance of this is you don't want to be found in non-compliance, because if you do, it's called question cost, and then the town will have to repay part of the money you get back. So this compliance work is very important for Dave, Crystal, or whoever's going to be looking at this stuff, guys. This is not encompassing everything, because you have to look at this compliance supplement plus any grant work that you give, the actual contracts. So those two things have to look at each one of them and kind of see where you're at. But the main thing is, whoever it is, your finance officer, they need to understand that anything, any grants you get over $1 million will be subject to this compliance testing. So keep that in mind and be sure they're aware of this coming up, because I think FEMA was going, was it 10 million increase going up for?
What's that?
How much is your FEMA going to be this year? You know for sure.
Maybe 5 to 10 million, I would say, by the end of June.
So more than likely you will be subject to your compliance testing this year. What's called single audit. Okay. Like I said, your audit report was good for last year. Everything went great. It's an unqualified opinion, but after the hurricane, all this has changed pretty quick.
Thank you for doing
So if you go to the audit report and have questions, please call us anytime. I'll be happy to come to any meeting, go over anything with you. I'll be glad to do that. Everything was clean last year, but this year's going to be a whole different story, I'm sure. With everything coming up.
So far it has been. It's really changed.
Yes, sir. I know that's very quick, but it's, like I said, everything's going to change this year.
Well, thank you, Dave.
You're welcome, guys. Anything, please let me know.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. We also on the next agenda have a application for water, for outside water rates with no annexation. So Matthew and Susan Gardner, Bigger State Road, is that been done, Richard, or is that?
I don't believe I made that back to us. I think this, I'm tired. I don't believe it's very much.
We need to make a motion and a second to approve the water tap on 526 Bigger State Road at outside rates without annexation.
I'm gonna make a motion to do that.
Motion by Jackie,
Second motion.
second by Wayne. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next thing on our agenda is approval of our interim finance officer's employment agreement. Chad, you want to go over a little bit with us? Pretty well.
Yeah, I'm happy to. Let me pull it up real quick. You've seen this document recently, with it's very similar to the part-time temporary position for the interim town manager. Just some differences to point out. The term of employment begins on this contract January 17th, 2025, and will continue to terminate by either party. However, this is a temporary position and shall not exceed 12 consecutive months on a non-recurring basis. I don't think that's going to be an issue here, but in order to comply with retirement issues, needed to be a temporary contract. And the position is for less than 30 hours per week. Compensation is there in front of you. It'll be paid on an hourly basis. The duties and responsibilities are included in Exhibit A, which is the last page of the document. And the duties of the town finance officer are laid out in statute, North Carolina General Statute, Section 159-25, specifically lays out the duties for a finance officer. But also included, as established in the town's personnel policies and as customary and reasonable, that may be assigned by the town council or the town manager. This position does not accrue any benefits except for those benefits that cannot be waived under law, which include workers' compensation and the Wage and Hour Act requirements. To the extent that under the personnel policy, this position might be entitled to any benefits, the employee renounces those benefits and forfeits any rights to them. There was a position, or a section dealing with retirement since the candidate is currently retired. And because this is a non-reoccurring 12-month position, or a non-reoccurring position of greater than 12 months, it is considered a temporary position, and as such, it's not a position that has to be funded for retirement purposes. However, there is strict guidelines as to that, and strict guidelines as you cannot go over 12 months on a non-recurring basis. But hopefully that's not going to be an issue, or the town can have something quicker than that. The remainder is really just miscellaneous legal provisions, and be signed by mayor and then signed by Crystal, also for pre-audit certification. That you all have the money to pay for, currently have the money allocated to pay for this position. Happy to address any questions.
Mayor, one question. Shall begin on January 17th. Dave has been working with Crystal all day today. I know we can't make it effective before tonight, but we need to make it effective as of tonight or tomorrow, whichever day it needs to be, Jeff.
Well, we can make it effective tomorrow. And let me just check. I'll need to change a little something about it, because you can't have two finance officers at once. So I will, let me just change a sentence or two, and then it can be effective. We'll make it effective as of tomorrow, if that's what the council wants.
He's got to be here to work with her absolutely as long as possible. I know we can't have two finance officers, sometimes two town managers at the same time, just like mine was. Mine was
Yeah. Well,
shadowing or something, then active, then interim.
yeah. Well, I can change it as we're going through, and we'll have some prepared and ready tonight.
Thank you.
We can table that later in the meeting then.
But I would like to say thank you, Dave, for your wellness. We really, really appreciate what you've been doing.
Okay, boy. All right. We've also got to change our bank signers. Check.
We'll talk a little bit about that.
All right.
So right now, on our bank accounts is myself and Darlene Brooks. So, of course, Darlene is retired and I'm leaving, so we need to figure out, of course, we got that two signers on checks, so we need to figure out who we want to add for that. Now, I talked to Dave, and he thinks, he might not be here that long to need to be a signer on the account, so maybe Phil, if you could, or Richard, or whoever. Ella could. So we just need to get that figured out this week, and
That'll be okay with you all?
okay.
I think that would be, let's change the changing.
Yeah. There's some food in it too.
Where's we can do it? Maybe.
So like, we'd have Ellen then.
We can just have Ellen Brooks, if one of us, probably need.
Brooks already on.
Yeah, Brooks on, so maybe somebody else is the backup.
Well,
You're the worst likely one.
Yeah.
I'm here. I didn't-
And the only other thing, our capital management trust, where most of our funds sit, I talked to them as well and asked about putting somebody else on, and they said they needed the finance officer to be on that, so I'm not, that one, Dave might need to go on.
David, you really don't on that?
And that one, there's nothing, no sign or anything, that's just the money needs to be moved.
Okay, come on, out of the camp.
Right,
We should,
yeah, I'll do that before I go, so.
Okay, we've got to approve Brooks
Brooks on
already.
there, so just.
Ella and me as signers on our checks, and then Dave is
Capital Management Trust is our authorized finance officer.
That needs any form of motion.
Yes.
I make the motion for Ellen Day to be added to the.
And also, we have accounts at United, we have accounts at Home Trust Bank as well. Those aren't checking accounts, but we can put Ella and you on those as well. So maybe put that in the motion.
What other banks?
Home Trust and United.
Okay, so I put that in form of motion. You want to put me out on it?
I make the motion.
A motion by Rob, and a second.
Second that motion.
Second by Lane, all in favor? Okay. Resolution to fix orders performance bond finance officer. Did I find that resolution? Jared, did you go over that before?
Yeah, the requirements of the general statute require that a finance officer be bonded by a performance bond. And the way the statute reads is that the council is required to fix an amount to pay for the performance bond, or the amount of the performance bond. The statute requires that it must be, the performance bond must be no less than the greater of $50,000 or an amount equal to 10% of the town's annual budgeted funds, up to $1 million. Local Government Commission has provided interpretation as to what is meant by 10% of the town's budget. My understanding is Crystal is bonded at $1 million. That's more than what is required, but you can never have enough, to be quite honest. So
When we were doing that, 10% revenue was gonna be like 600,000. So, and the league only had an option of 500,000 or $1 million. So that's why we had to go with the $1 million when we done the application, but.
So I would recommend going with the same $1 million, and this would be the performance bond for the interim finance officer. And when that position changes, we'll have to do this again. But the bond is not for the position. The bond is for the person in the position. So this will be a bond for that individual. And I believe you have been acquiring it through the leagues. And I think Crystal's already talked to Brooke about getting this going, but you have to decide how much you want to pay.
Our insurance for the league, and the league only has 500,000 a year. Set the meeting. Okay, I make a motion to set a performance bond for Dave's temporary position at $1 million.
Second.
Motion by Beth. Second by Rob. All in favor? All right. What else you got for us, Crystal?
That's the next thing.
The budget amendment.
Budget amendment, okay? sheet here. So this is what y'all discussed at the meeting in December that Spencer had requested. So this is moving the 20,000 from Croissant grants into a line item called hurricane relief funds for 20,000. And as it says, this will result in no net increase in appropriations of the general fund, we're just moving from one line item to another line item.
Do I have a motion to approve it?
Motion to approve this budget.
Motion by Jackie, do I have a second? Second. All right. All in favor? Next, we have project ordinance.
Project ordinance. A copy of that grant project ordinance. So this sample was put out by the Institute of Government, and it's something I wanted to get in place and get everything squared away before I left. So I'll read this first page and then kind of go over everything. Grant project ordinance for the town of Spruce Pine, Helene Disaster Response and Recovery. Be it ordained by the town council for the town of Spruce Pine, North Carolina, that pursuant to section 13.2 of chapter 159 of the general statutes of North Carolina, the following grant project ordinance is hereby adopted. This ordinance is to establish a budget for projects related to the Hurricane Helene disaster response that will be reimbursed by the Federal Emergency Management Agency Public Assistance Program. Through its public assistance program, FEMA provides federal grant assistance for debris removal, emergency protective measures, and restoration of disaster damaged publicly owned facilities. Although FEMA typically covers 75% of the eligible costs, the federal government has increased the cost share of Carolina for the Helene disaster to 100% for the first 180 days of the incident period. Expenses may be eligible for FEMA reimbursement in the following categories. Category A, debris removal. Category B, emergency protective measures. Category C, roads and bridges. Category D, water control facilities. Category E, public utilities. Category F, parks, recreational facilities, and other. And then category G, buildings and equipment. And then finally, category Z, management costs. We go to the next page, section 2, the following amounts are appropriated for the eligible projects and authorized for expenditure. Debris removal, $100,000. Emergency protective measures, $100,000. Roads and bridges, $1 million. Parks and recreational facilities, $2 million. Buildings and equipment, $1 million. Administrative work, $100,000. Water plant repairs, $200,000. Water line repairs, $250,000. Sewer plant and lift station repairs, $5 million. Sewer line repairs, $2 million, and administrative work, $300,000. So that is a total of $12,050,000. Then you go on to section 3. Following revenues are anticipated to be available to complete the project. Insurance proceeds, $5 million. FEMA reimbursement funds, $4 million. Our emergency loan from DWI, $3 million. And then interest earned, $50,000. So basically, we just needed to get a budget in, and these are all just estimates. This is just to get us going. So right now, for the expenses, we have been coding all those in the general fund and the water and sewer fund. This is to move all those expenses into a separate project and get started with that. And so I would expect, it would be good monthly to give you a breakdown of the budget actual on this fund so you can see what's been spent. Right now, as far as what's been spent that we've paid for, we've had $72,000 in expenses in the general fund and $772,000 for expenses in the water fund. But basically what we will do, and I was talking to Dave about this earlier, we're gonna move those expenses into this project fund like it should be, and then we'll have a payable and receivable to pay the money back to the water and sewer fund and the general fund as those funds come in. And then that emergency loan, we will not draw down on that unless we absolutely have to, for cash flow reasons.
Okay.
And that's something too, you know, our general fund has a very healthy fund balance. That's something that you guys can consider in the future. Do you want to take that loan or use the general fund balance rather than drawing on that way? So that's something we can talk about as time goes on, but hopefully some of the FEMA funds will start filling in. Any questions on any of that?
I'll need a motion and a second for this. grant project ordinance for,
Like I said, that's just numbers to get us started. You know, right now, what we've spent is probably close to 8 million, based on the estimates and everything, but 12 million, you know, that'll give us a little bit longer, so.
Make a motion to approve this grant project ordinance.
Mr. Rocky,
Second motion.
second by Wayne, all in favor? All right.
Mr. Mayor, I have revised the agreement, if you want to come back to that real quick.
All right.
And I'll email a finalized copy to the town manager and it'll be signed tomorrow. It's been changed that the agreement begins on January 14th, 2025. And there was additional bullet point at the end of Exhibit A. It states, beginning on January 14th, 2025 through the end of business on January 17th, 2025. The position shall be considered a job shadowing position and shall be supervised by the current town finance officer. Current town finance officer shall remain in place until the finance officer's resignation effective at the end of business on January 17th, 2025. The interim finance officer's position shall be effective January 17th, 2025 until upon the town finance officer's resignation.
Okay, I need a motion and a second to approve this employment agreement.
We approve this agreement.
Okay,
Second.
Wayne, approve this second. All in favor? You're official now, Dave. Yeah, thanks.
Watch these forward, I
I wouldn't let Crystal sit down, so. We got you a little, I'm not saying goodbye again, I'm saying we'll see you later again.
We should not have done that. It's
Well-
not.
This is from the council and the girls in my office.
Thank you all so much. You should not have done that. I don't deserve it a gift.
Yes,
You've had so many years of great service to the town and dedication that she's given. You deserve a lot more. Put that in your office.
Oh, I will.
Every time you look at it, you say it's time. to-
Okay.
And Crystal, I'm gonna stick my neck out and say that if you wanna come back, you can keep it.
But he didn't often say it's not time to leave. But he did.
There we go. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mayor, could you add one more thing to the agenda? Is it too late to add one more thing? Okay. The tax release, did we get that added?
Well, I didn't see it. We can sure do it.
Okay, so we have got a tax release for Patty Rathbone, yeah, so the total release is $304.75. It is basically on a life, or an elderly exemption on our property and a life estate on it, so.
Well, I need a motion in a second to release this. Secretary ran it off at is it 484?
44 Cabin Road.
44 Cabin Road.
I move acceptance of the release.
Second.
Motion by Wayne, second by Rod, all in favor? All right. All right, we're up to the department reports. Mike, you're up first.
I'll make this brief, once again, I'm still gonna have one board. As far as what we've been doing for the past month is we've got the tennis court screens fixed. We worked around some items around the dog park that needed fixed. We worked at the front entrance and got rid of the limbs, and well, we've got the limbs and everything piled up so we can get them chipped up with fume. There was a metal pole that come into the park that a 18-wheeler hit as they were making all their turns into the greens. We got it fixed. Started working around our shelters, trying to get them back in shape. Looking at some quotes on getting the walking trail fixed and the trees removed off the walking trail that my department can't do. Of course, when the weather was allowing it, we was working on leaves. We had our road broke off there at Shelter 1. The culvert finally just gave in. The maintenance had to come replace the whole tile, and we've got the road all the way out. We got the whole tile fixed. In the meantime, we accidentally hit a line, but it got the water line, but it got fixed also. We're just waiting. Still just waiting to get some gravel delivered, so we can access the bottom of the park again. Picked up trash along Lower Street and the one-ways and alleys and stuff like that. That's something that we're gonna take on again. I noticed that for some reason they're taking the Pine Line bus stop and making it their own personal trash can. And so we're going to keep a big eye on this. People just don't garbage everywhere right now. It's ridiculous. And of course, with these snowstorms, we've been out and about shoveling snow and spreading salt, stuff like that. Some of the things that we have that are planned to do, we're going to go down Highland Avenue, both sides of Highland, get it picked up. Of course, once we get to lower end of the park, again, when we get that gravel, we're going to work on that little parking lot where the 18-wheelers are down there making their turns and got all of that grass and mud and dirt. We'll work on that. Still got to get the fence repaired at the pool, at least get it up to where nobody can gain access into the pool deck. Again, continue to work on the trees that's fallen, the limbs that need to be cut, stuff like that. And I know this sounds a little early to do, and we're not even sure how the pool's gonna fare this year, but I'm gonna have to start, trying to find lifeguards this season. And the reason why I say that is because we have to get them trained, or they have to get trained and have to find classes for them to go to. So that's something that's on our agenda. I had a bunch as we closed out the season last year. I think I only had 2 returning. So we'll see how that goes from there. But pretty much just going day by day, down to 2 employees, and they're working between 10 to maybe 15 hours a week, 3 days a week. Plus they've been out sick. They've been all diagnosed with the flu, and those 2 finally got to come back to work today. So other than that, that's what I've got. That's what we've been doing.
Thank you, Mike.
Chris, you got anything else?
I do. I gotta do one more report, Don.
All right. We ought to have your last report.
Yeah.
Not your last.
Okay.
My interim report, right? I'd like you guys to let Diane do this, everybody. It's kind of bittersweet, it is.
I ain't seen anything so bad.
Maybe it will be, maybe it will be.
Door still.
So you've got your financials as of December. General fund is doing great. General fund revenue, $2,577,661. And our general fund expenditures, $1,492,023. So that's the excess of revenues over expenditures of $1,085,638. And that's because property taxes, we're, further on in here, I'll get to the collection rate, but we're probably getting close to 80% right now, I would say. One thing to look at on that first page, total sales tax. So at the end of December, we should be at 50%, we're at 50.1%. Now, the sales tax money we get from the state is behind. It's 2 months behind from when it's collected to when we receive it. So I would pay close attention these next few months, because that will be the after Helene sales tax months to see what sales tax does. Then franchise taxes as well, we're 53.4%. So we're in good shape right now. We'll have to see the next few months what the sales tax does. Next page, Water and sewer fund, water and sewer revenue, $1,338,136, so that's only 40% of our budgeted amount. Basically, right now, we're 400,000 under budget in our water and sewer revenue. And our water and sewer expenditures for the period was $2,075,828. So that's an excess or deficiency of revenues over expenditures of $737,692. But you have to remember in that number, our Helene expenses have been $772,000. So once you pull those out, we're not in as bad a shape, is what it looks like on paper. But, I will say, to meet our revenue estimates for the year, we need to bill out $267,000. This past month, we billed out $150,000. So hopefully, if we can get the prisons back, of course, that will help. But, if we keep billing $150,000 a month, we will be, close to $1 million in the hole, or under budget. So just keep that in mind going forward. And then our tax collection rate at the end of December was 83%. So, Dave and I this week, we're working on mailing out tax letters before I go, so we'll get, taxes in this month, so.
Anything for Christmas? So nice change.
And I have tried this month, as I've been doing things, I've been trying to make a binder and a manual, trying to put pen to paper on the steps involved and a lot of the job duties. Of course, Dave, it's coming back to him, I think. I'm still, but I thought it would be good for whoever going forward. And I definitely would recommend, and me and Dave will talk about this, whoever you get, send them to training on the software. When I started here, I had never worked in Southern software, but I went down to Southern software. Southern Pines, I went down there for like 3 days, and they worked with me 3 days, and that really helped. So I would definitely recommend you do that for the next finance officer.
Sign you up again.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you, guys, appreciate it. You've done what you did not have to get me the call, but I greatly appreciate it. And I will definitely, thanks for your time every time I say it, so thank you, guys.
All right, Casey, you're up next.
Well, I'm gonna miss Crystal so much, I brought my whole department here to see her last time. No, Crystal's been awesome, awesome to work with. Thank you for everything. 7 years went really quick. I only got a couple things. As you see, I do have my guys up here for a reason. The sheet I laid there, for the last month, we've had 420 total calls. And if you notice, we keep around that number, 380, 420, something like that. So we're staying busy. Some new things that I want to let you guys know since the last meeting. Officer Sale has left. His last day was Thursday, so he's officially gone. We will lose Officer Mace Wednesday, it's coming 2 days. We'll lose him. He's going to Hickory. We hope he makes it out there. Right here in the front, redhead, that's our new officer, Jonathan Austin. We ain't named him yet, but I want him to be here so you guys can see him. He's been in reserve since last year, middle of last year. Has done great work for us, covering shifts during a storm here, probably more than anybody. Doing a great job. Got complete confidence in him. He'll be working. I'll tell you, everybody, we had a lot of changes with everybody moving. We've had changes inside our department. During August, he went from detective to our night shift supervisor. So he will be working with Austin starting tonight. Corey has took over detective spot, which was Jeremy's spot. Luckily for him, he took the Chevrolet case. That's his first case, which is a monster case, so we're all helping with that. Mark went from night shift to now he's on day shift with Corey. So him and Corey's working together. So we've got a lot of changes, good changes, you know. Nobody likes changes, but sometimes they're good. I hate we're gonna be losing officers, we're not losing, but, you know, we'll make it.
So you're gonna be just one short.
We're one short, I think we've put it in the paper, I've got an officer, he's in LET that for a guy I really like. The problem is his school doesn't at the end of August, so, you know, can't wait till August, so we'll just see what happens, see who applies, go through that process. If the right person comes along, then, you know, we'll look at him, but if not, I like to wait on, you know, I would tell everybody experience is very, very good, but I can mold anybody into what I want them to be. I just want them to be able to fit in, and that's the big thing for me. We've got a great group of guys. Everybody works good together. So, you know, we're gonna make it no matter how many changes. Everybody has changed, but we're gonna chug right along. Some other things. I reached out to probation, and they were able to set me back up with. I know we did this a couple of years ago with community service. So luckily, I should have a flow of community service people coming in and working for me. So you're going to see a lot of litter pickup. You're going to see a lot of work in town. So if everybody's got my cell phone number, you go through a street, you see stuff, trash, all that stuff, you just send me a text. Say there's a bunch of trash on this road. So I finished up with a guy last week. I've got a guy coming in tomorrow. He's got 40 hours he's got to do, so that's going to be at least 2-3 weeks we can use him. So, you know, it's going to benefit us. And we need, you know, if they're going to be on community service, they need to work a little bit. We're going to put them to work. So, but other than that, that's all I've got. It's like Twilight Zone having Richard Mays back.
I told you I'm more angry.
Yeah, that's right. So, anybody got any questions? Anything? All right. Thank you, guys.
Water sewer.
Mine is gonna be short, sweet. We got so much done in October, November. December is fairly, we got to a point where things slowed down, we got things under control. And we did get some things accomplished. Water plant's up and running, all tanks full. Pump station, both wells operating full compliance with all state and federal rules for the month. Collected 6 back fees like we do every month, and they were all good. The big thing, I had the dive team from Inland Water Services come up and clean their wet well out in North Toe River. There's about 4 foot of mud had to be removed. They also cleaned around the river intakes, the intakes that are Beaver Creek Reservoir. When they went up to our reservoir, the screens, I'm assuming they're the original screens in the dam built. They were blocked with debris and showing signs of needing replaced. So they suggested that we replace the top 2 screens with stainless steel screens, and the type they're putting in has got a rake where we can clean them from above. So that'll be a big thing for us that we've never had. Something else, both new pumps that are now in service at Macomb Pump Station. Other than the roof that I may budget for next year, Macomb Station is the best it's ever been. We do have some stuff we're going to do in the spring, and I'm kind of putting that off as far as installing the flow meter. I've already bought it, backflow preventers, but we'll do that later when chaos disappears. I do too. I'll have more on this next month, but we've been pumping water from the Toe River with our temporary pumps for over a week now. And we've got to get it down to a good pattern of them calling us and us calling them from the water plant, tell them when to turn it off. Here lately during this cold weather, we try to they run their small pump, 200 gallons a minute, just kept it on because of the cold weather. So that's working out pretty good. Capital projects, all been completed on the water system. I do want to say this, and I'll have more next month. The Toe River Pump Station, I've ordered, first week of the storm, I ordered a brand new pump. Because it takes so long to get here. The other pump, which was brand new back in March, we had SW to come. They pulled the motor, took it back to Bristol, dry it out and get it back operational. So I look for the next couple of weeks that we'll have a brand new pump, and then we'll have our other brand new pump ready to go. So we're gonna be great on pumps at Toe River. They're big, 75 horsepower. And let's see, our production at the water plant, we done almost 34 million through the plant. And we did 6.09 million gallons out of our wells.
April, number 2 set, number 1.
Yeah, I am. It's just, number 2 is not yielding enough, and I've already cut it back. I can cut it back again on the Hertz, the VFD, but right now we're okay with number 1. It's certainly not like it was years ago. So.
Donnie, I will say, to the wells, since he shut number 2 off, there is way less air in the water in the Grass Creek area.
Well,
It's much clearer.
The water looks good.
well, my goal is bless us use the wells to better. So, right, we are planning to upgrade this Summit pump down here to a larger pump with a VFD. That is, like I told you before, we get 235 gallons a minute. We need more than that to get across this hill to get sanitary. So that'll come later on. Of course, the numbers going out there is great. Raw water turbidity, finished turbidity, chlorine residual. Everything's kind of calming down now. The wastewater plant is over in Irving, Tennessee. No, seriously, the wastewater plant is operated as good as possible since the storm. As y'all know, we're running partial treatment, nothing like we had before the storm, but believe it or not, we're getting some good numbers. The state wanted us to go back to sampling 3 times a week, just like our original permit with our original plant. So we started doing that. So we've got it worked out now where we have to go to Iceville every week, every Wednesday, and take the samples. And then Tuesdays, they pick up Monday and Tuesdays. Yeah, we're getting some good numbers on that, so that was encouraging. Capital projects, all capital projects have been completed except for installing a new generator transfer switch at the Upper Prison lift station. And we'll be done. So, anybody got any questions?
When we gonna get the president?
Well, I've heard that one's coming back. I don't
I
know.
was gonna mention that.
Okay.
I can go ahead and leave it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Travis is not gonna be here tonight, public works, so I worked a deal with him to not be here if he'd work tonight.
There you go.
Pretty good deal.
He came out with a better deal.
He's gonna try to take off the parking areas in town for us tonight, while there's no traffic out. I agreed to let him not be here, he'll do that for us. Main Street, you're up. Finish.
Pretty slow month this past month, the holidays and snowstorms and all that. Give you all a quick update of what's been going on. We finally started talking more about Fire on the Mountain again, so we'll do that. We're getting a special bit of permit, you also need about that. Met with Stacy Lynn from town to discuss the festival. They've already picked out their featured blacksmith and all their blacksmiths, so we're good to go on that front. We're hoping to get the application to open at the end of this week. The committees for Johnstown Spring are finally starting to meet again this month. We haven't met at all, understandably. And so we're finally starting to meet again this month, and we'll get all that rolling again. Visitor Center finally has power again. The mini splits are running, so I got them on full dehumidifier mode because it was kind of starting to smell a little funny in there. And then I started talking to Spectrum about trying to get our internet back up. And then we'll run to Ellen out here soon and start working on furniture for the visitor center in the office down there. I started talking to some artists again about some stuff we were working on pre-hurricane, designs for downtown Spruce Pine for a fundraising effort, as well as our logos for the Final Mountain Festival, and also the Hellbender Festival that we're working on for this fall. I attended the Mitchell County Town Hall to represent downtown Spruce Pine, answer some questions that we got asked there. And lastly, to end on a good note, we had a water pipe burst in the men's restroom in the visitor center. So we're gonna get that fixed. From what I can tell, is I go in there and I hit the heater that's in the men's room, and it'll run for about 12 hours and it'll just shut back off. So we're gonna hopefully get Listen down there to fix that as well.
Yeah.
But again, light on, so that's all I have going on. Anything?
Those restrooms are functioning.
They're functioning, but we don't have them open, just with that freezing vent, so I just gotta figure it out. I just want to deal with that. And so, right now, it's just clean water, I feel like the alternative.
Are the restrooms clean? They have been cleaned?
They're not clean enough for like the public, but they're clean as far as like, they're not full of water. Thank you.
All right. Richard, what do you got?
Okay, I don't have a tremendous amount there, but, we do have, just things that's been accomplished last week. The cemetery is now cleaned up, all the dead trees are up and gone, all the headstones, that's all taken care of. Contractor's been assigned to re-roof the old mausoleum where the trees damaged the roof, get that taken care of. We're having to receive bids on the Stroop Road project. It's big. That's gonna be a lot of money. There in front of Robert Trout's driveway. Got 2 bids today. I'm getting one more tomorrow, I believe, so we can award that. That's all we need to get Crystal to move forward with that.
Is it washed out?
There's a big slide right in front of Robert's driveway. Yeah. It's gonna be a big project. Shannon Drive, Donnie didn't mention this, but we tried to test the Shannon Drive pump station last week. We do believe the line under the river is intact and serviceable, which was a big, we hope, question. And it did get to the manhole at the wastewater treatment plant. So that's great. I don't know if it had not worked, I don't know what we would have done if you hadn't seen that in the bend of the river of Shannon Drive. There's no telling how many tons of debris piled up where it comes under the river. Pumps have been wet and they will run for about 15 seconds and cut off, so they have been full. New pumps are supposed to be here Wednesday for that. Question about prisons was asked. Travis, we have met several times with the prisons. They contacted Travis yesterday or Saturday, wanting to bring back everybody at one time. They've been roughly 900, I guess it's roughly 900 inmates. They said, can't do that, because we know pretty much for a fact, and I think you'll agree, we're going to have to bring the formal treatment plant online. That's a Mitchell Undercounty. We haven't had to use it yet, but you get that many people, so we told them to bring half at one time. When we get that plant running and everything's functioning, bring the other half. So it's ready. As soon as they get the prison stocked and whatever they have cleaned, whatever they have doing. He was talking with Mike Slagle, that's over there. I believe he's over the Avery Vigil. I believe he's in charge of it. So they are bringing people back to that one very soon in the next few weeks. To what Crystal was talking about in revenue and water and sewer, we have not had either prison or Sabelco on Carter's Ridge on the system since the storm. That's our 3 biggest customers in the water system. There's just no way Donnie can supply any of the 3, not more than one, but any one you could. Up to now, we've got that river tank running, intake running. So I don't know the plan on Sabelco to you as far as having intake.
It's smart to bring half of them back at the bridge. I think we're at a good point where we can do that as far as the water.
Well, as far as water and sewer, because
Yeah.
we'll be sure that we can handle it. We don't want to bring them all back and then say, you're going to have to do something different. That's the worst thing we could do.
But the Carter Bridge, it was putting a strain on us before.
LA County.
Yeah.
So I recommended to Travis that we can't supply processed water for them
right now.
till we figure out something.
And if you get bigger pump over here, that may solve that problem.
That's
That
what
may
I
do
was
it. That should solve it, so.
We just, it puts too much of a strain on our wells, and our wells are going away, so.
I know, one of the things, I know everyone is concerned about downtown Lower Street, the rebuild of those buildings. There is a tremendous problem with the 2-hour rated glass. Chad and I talked about it, Chad's researched it. It is not fire damage created, it's North Carolina Building Code. That's what you found out in your research, I believe. It's not just because we have the fire damage downtown, it's building code. And he's sent me some information on that. It's amazing the difference in price. You know, 26,000 since the paper was here, 26,000 for this regular safety glass thermal pane, 161,000 for fiberglass for one of the buildings. That's the kind of things we're looking at. We have a couple more thoughts that we'll bring to you as ways of assisting those folks. Have some other folks looking into ideas of how to assist them with funding. That's what it's going to take funding, you know, to get those buildings back. We know that 2 or 3 or 4 are under renovation right now, which is wonderful to at least have activity down there. We got 4 buildings I know of that are under renovations or will be soon. So that's a start. And conversation, a couple more are coming back, I believe, so. Met today with FEMA. I have FEMA representatives today, tomorrow, and Wednesday over all the things that we have filed as far as damages. They are sending teams in to actually visit the sites and document the damage. After that, we're hopeful some money will start coming. I think once they get it documented and all the paperwork in, we're hoping at least some of the money will start flowing. But it's been, there's a tremendous amount that we filed with them and with our insurance. And as Crystal has said, we've received 1 check from our insurance. That's $2 million
yeah.
to get started on rebuilding, restoring, replacing.
Did we get an answer on the insurance limits?
The 5 million, he said, was on equipment. But I've got the number to file for property, so no, I don't have that answer.
Don't we have a lien on property?
I'm not sure. He didn't know right off. The guy I talked to was in, he handled vehicles and equipment, so.
It is vehicles included in that.
In the 5 million, yeah.
But the 2 million we got, we don't know if that's for vehicles or property.
No, the 2 million we got is for property,
Property, okay.
yes.
And there's a lot of equipment that Travis is desperate for.
Yeah, he is.
He's absolutely desperate to do his job with. He's got the house and equipment. You know, I don't know how we go about that. One thing we have got to have is a sewer jetter. We have sewer lines stocked up right now. We do not have anything to wash with. The city of Marion gave us one to use as long as we need, but it's for big lines. It's not for 4-inch lines. A lot of our service lines are 4 inches. So, you know, it worked great on the line 1 that's down by Tri-County Oil, Gouge Oil, out there. A line that size worked perfect on it. But a 4-inch line, it won't work. He's desperate for that. He's got prices on a sewer jetter vacuum truck. He would love to have. I think I've been meaning to get, and I will get from these Crystal Days, whichever, how much we have spent in a year's time with KRG coming, jetting and vacuuming lines and manholes. I think we could make what we're spending with them a year, we could finance this and make the payments on that piece of equipment without a lot of
We
trouble.
would usually budget about 25,000.
But I think we've used a lot more than that this year.
Well, they get 6,500 a day. The last time I used them.
You know, that's all. You know, it'll take a lot of that to make to come up with an annual payment on
Mhm.
a piece of equipment.
Even back when I was on the Forks Director, we budgeted $20,000 a year, I think, for it.
We went over that usually roughly.
What's this jailer vacuum?
It's a vacuum truck, like you may have seen theirs in town, the vacuum truck's it's got a jetter on it, it's got a vacuum system, clean out manholes, clean out, pump stations, wash sewer lines. Because we're required by the permit to wash 10% of our lines a year. 10% of our lines is a lot of sewer line.
It's a lot, so.
And I think he's got 2 or 3 prices, Happy Crystal on.
I think so. I know who's working on
He's
that.
working on, I believe he has the prices that we want to bring to y'all, because that would be a tremendous help to him and to the system. They are fighting water leaks still every day. Now, it's not just the weather, this unfriendly weather is a problem now. I think we're beyond the Helene water leaks. I think we're now in the weather-related water leaks, morning. Excuse me, so. They're trying to get other things done, and just like this water tap we approved, it's been here a while, we got to get it done, people need it. But it's just one water leak after another every day. And I know Philip sees it because he's by every morning, and Crystal knows what we're talking about, Donnie does, because.
Yeah, water leaks always happen Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
It's never on the weekend or after dark.
On Saturday and Sunday, probably without the tax weekend.
Yeah, that's all weekend they were
I
out.
know how bad the weather was.
Any questions y'all have, I'll try to answer them. I'm just trying to get into this role and get things going. There's a lot of things we need to be looking at.
If we've got some money for buildings on the insurance, can we begin to look for property or something for a maintenance bill?
It can be spent.
So we've got the 2 million. Let's see, they've not, told us how to allocate that yet or anything. So,
But we can still do it.
yeah.
We need to be searching for somewhere to the public works building besides on that riverbank.
Is that an audited process through the insurance as well, or is that a lump sum that we get to divvy out?
The 2 million,
Yeah,
they classified it as a prepayment
okay.
of losses. But
So
they
it's
said,
basically a cash value
Yeah.
up front.
right, and they said that a breakdown of that will be coming, but they will send us, yeah. And I did leave y'all a copy of our damage inventory. Look at that and see if you think that we have until February 3rd to get that submitted. If there's anything else, and I meant to make a copy, so vehicles is separate, but we've got that list. Travis tried to do a spreadsheet of everything he thought that was in the shop. We did not have, a detailed inventory, but he come up with about $450,000 worth of stuff that was in there. I know building contents at Public Works, we only had like 250,000. So if FEMA works like it's supposed to, they should make up the difference.
Just supplement everyone.
Yeah, and I know Donnie and Daryl done an inventory as well for lab, and you were at what, 200 to 250,000 of stuff just in his lab. So FEMA has that list as well. So
We do have, one last thing that just thought of, we do have the new truck we received, the gift that we received has a snowplow on it, it's operational. Tommy Woody, before he left, got one snowplow and a salt spreader running on another truck, and he got a salt spreader running for a third truck. So we have 2 trucks with plows and 2 trucks with salt spreaders. This one doesn't have a plow. That was salvaged out of the mud down there. They got in there and cleaned out that, salt shed and salvaged 2 spreaders and 2 blades. Or 1 blade.
I got a call right before we meeting about the English wood truck beside English.
Mhm.
And it's failing.
There's a sinkhole just enough.
And I talked to Travis and he's got cones, he said he's got cones on it until we can do something.
There's about, just after you turn up, there's.
Yeah.
Some-
Yeah, at least Dave's saying it's the whole road. But anyway.
See, that's where there's a sewer line right down through there. Yeah, that's one we're gonna have to get on because it's getting deeper.
Well, that's got to be another damage from FEMA.
It's gotta be a sewer line damage to be a sinkhole there.
It showed about the same time Greenville fell, like a week or two after that.
Be sure that's on the work order, get that looked at. They did start trying to clean out today the chlorine contact chamber and disinfectant at the sewer plant. We need to get that back to working as normal as soon as we can, and they're trying to clean it out today.
How they get equipment up there too?
It's right,
Contact chambers down on the flat
it's
part.
on the, it's
Oh,
on the flat,
Yeah, not the clarifier.
on the flat part.
So they can't get covered.
Yeah, we don't have anything that we can reach to the river to uncover the, outfall. We'll have to get a bigger machine to do that, it's buried in 10, 12 feet of sand. So, but they are working, Mark and Ronnie's worked down there all day, I believe, cleaning that out, because, somebody suggested we get that back to going as soon as we could, I don't remember, one of our meetings.
Yeah, if we wanna go back to the original process, at least that needs to be done.
Mhm.
And then our filter press bill, gonna have to have some attention. I don't know about, I talked to you about that, we're gonna take care of that.
We'll work on that, but.
So the temporary, sewage treatment trailer is the plan, is the plan to make that, to get that up and running once one prison comes back?
We will, it's my understanding, the plan is to have that plant running at Mitchell Lumber Company, coinciding with them bringing in things back. The one at Mitchell High has been running, it doesn't like cold weather, it's operational.
My understanding, they brought us one of those, that was an operational end. The one, Mitchell.
It's not finished being set up yet.
No, it's
And
not
then they
there.
robbed pumps out of it.
Yeah, they locked the pumps out of it, and Travis has made contact with the company that we need that thing ready to run.
Yeah, we're paying for it.
So, yeah, that's my next question is, if we got something sitting there that's defective.
Yeah, well, it's just not being finished setting it up, because everything shifted to the one at Mitchell High when we figured out to bypass the Beaver Creek pump station. Right. And we didn't have to have that one at that point in time, but the wastewater treatment plant can't handle that much more flow. It's gonna have to be handled somewhere else, so we'll start catching that over there and handling it there. Correct?
And one thing too, with those plants, wasn't it just a 6-month agreement?
6 months agreement.
So that would make it March, right? October, yeah, that'd be the end of March, so how's that gonna work beyond that?
That'll be,
I'm sure they would let us keep it longer.
that'll be a new lease agreement.
Yeah,
I thought it was, I thought
I think after 6 months, we'll have the option to
I
purchase.
think there's an option to purchase.
There's an option purchase, I'm not sure where it was, but.
it was,
You may have a new sewer plant. Just put two of them together, put them in the buildings and.
Like Richard said, them things hate cold weather. They're meant for Texas, not North Carolina.
We have to build buildings, put them in each.
Yeah, you would, you know, that's what Cecil said.
it's the same way with these, what we got, five portable pumps running at wastewater pump stations. Plus the one at the end of the river, they don't like cold weather either.
No, that's really not letting them run a lot. My guys, they had an awful time keeping the Beaver Creek pump going down there. So they got all weekend.
We're trying to keep that
Trying to keep it running.
low Pine Ridge.
So the town, has an option to extend, for another period of 6 months. And that is a fee of $780,000. This is for both, payable, $130,000 a year. There also is an option to purchase, at the end of the initial 6-month period, for a fixed price of $2,621,000.
Slot 2 years.
Now.
There is also another situation that you have to take into account. We don't have an infinite amount of time where it's currently the one that's located at Mitchell Lumber. The lease for that was, let me bring it up. I actually don't have a copy of that lease, but I know it was signed. And it's probably here.
It's you.
It's here.
Darlene said it was you.
With Intermountain Children's, home. That lease is for 6 months with an additional 6 months renewal period there. We have 1 year availability there.
I think the other one was 12 months also. So,
Well, yeah, we do need to take a look. That was a hard fought lease to get, there. So, that's something, another consideration, that if they're going to need to be there for longer than that, then we're gonna have to go back to these folks and have conversations with them.
So Richard, with just one prison coming back, you still think you'll need to run that plant with just one?
well, that's what we don't know.
Okay.
Travis, you and Travis have talked about it, and I think there's a feeling we will probably need to. You're running about 350,000 gallons a day at the wastewater treatment plant, right?
That big gas, we had no flow meters right there. So, Earl said it's not nearly, it's half or less what we would have been doing, 600,000 a month or a day.
We can look at the Department of Corrections water bills. I meant to do that today and didn't. Look at their water bills and see what their average daily was before the storm, before they evacuated the folks. And they'll give us a good idea of what's going to be coming, whether you can or cannot maybe handle it without the plant.
Right.
And the current 6 month period for both those temporary units run out on April 30th, 2024. They didn't start until November 1st. So,
2025.
I'm sorry, 2025.
So, am I correct, Mayor? I was under the impression that if either the Warden's Revenue lady, or somebody from FEMA said, we need to figure that we're gonna need the temporary remedy.
Well, that's what she said in the meeting we had here, that it could be possible. But we'd have to have at least one of them for a minute time to try to get our sewer plant back.
Right.
If we go to mitigation on that sewer plant, we're gonna have to move some stuff. And we'll also have to build a pump station down there too, so.
Is that very?
What's the resale on a sewage treatment plant?
I have no idea.
If we get the new pumps in and the Shannon Drive line under the river does work as we think, we'll be able to shut the one down later. Because there's not that much flow coming that way that you could handle it.
Well,
Yeah, hopefully we'll know that by the end of this week.
if they ever get to let school out this year, we have a summer, we won't have much flow there too. They're probably gonna be going to school mid-June.
There's probably not much on it right now this year, not much flow.
No, especially when it freezes up.
Is Tommy having to pump it for you?
He did a day or two. They did some things today over there to help the process work better. They eliminated a section of it, but, cold weather killed us. It's killed us everywhere.
Ain't no way they had right parts around, I think.
We built tents, put heaters on
Okay.
them, and heat traced, and it's unbearable weather.
Yeah, yes.
It's
Cold,
unbearable.
long term.
Long-term cold.
I think it's
So-
like that.
I guess my point is, we got anything over 18 months, we already pay for the units. Almost 2 units. Plus, we have a decommissioning fee of 140,000.
140,000.
Is that per unit or for the two?
That's per unit.
So,
Well, the company's offered to help us sell one, or help us relocate one and get rid of it. If we don't need it,
with us right now, right?
no, the company furnishes the boxes.
Okay.
They said they would work with us and attempt to find somewhere to relocate it that we wouldn't have to have it.
This company did put in a proposal operator.
Yes, they did.
Plants too.
We've got 3 proposals for operations. I think you'll know that.
Yeah, I mean, everything runs 30 days off of the end of the term, so, the term ends at the end of April. So by the 1st of March, we will need to start making decisions, to give you a full month to determine what you want to do. If you want to extend it, if you want to purchase it. I do know that we were warned, though, about, at the point it becomes more economically feasible to buy it, we should buy it from FEMA's standpoint. But it may not be, I mean, you may not need both, but I mean, that's something that you really need to start zoning in on the 1st of March.
Won't have a real good grasp on that anyway until we start mitigation planning either, because in the process of mitigation planning, we may be able to utilize those over the long term.
But do we have the expertise to relocate them ourselves?
No.
And, don't want one set around here somewhere.
Yeah.
$2 million,
Right.
it just sat somewhere, don't get it going down when we don't need it. I don't know.
Donnie, I know you already covered this, but that pump right over there, when will it be here? When do you think a reasonable amount of time?
Current Summit,
Yeah.
he's not gave me a timeline here lately, actually, we started this process about 6 weeks ago, and I'm gonna touch base with him because we've been keeping up.
You will follow up on that.
I'll go follow up on it tomorrow. Here's the thing, we want to put a VFD on it. The pump guy actually gave me a ballpark figure of $20,000, but there's gonna be SCADA involved. I don't know if I'm going to upgrade my SCADA right there or not to. I told him I want flow meters on it, I want to be able to, maybe even vary the flow back, but, you know, I've got a quote on it above the ground, we're looking at $500,000, so if we spend 30, 40 grand on this right here, it gives, for the meantime, get us more water to cemetery than what we're getting. It'll be money well spent. My biggest problem in this whole town is getting water to this side, waste to this side. So, short of bulldozing this hill off. That's the biggest problem I have. And if you'll notice, you got about the lights never off.
Yeah,
The pump runs off, bless it down.
You see
We're lucky.
I see that one.
See them back.
I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
know
all.
it went off.
It will.
I have seen it. I know it's the outcome, what they have us do, I think anything we can do to get them water.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
If you will follow up on that, see where we're at.
I will.
It's been a while back, I went down to there and the light was off and I was called down to Donnie and I said, your bulb's burned out.
You'll rarely catch it on.
I called it off that time, but the pump was off and I could tell the bulb's burned out.
Maybe that's all, unless y'all have more for me.
Did so much I can't comprehend everything we've done now. Any of the board members have anything while we're here that we need to discuss or go over? Beth, I've got some reading literature for you, but I don't think you picked that. A few of them.
I know I've already said it, but Richard, thank you. You're right.
Thank you. Thank you. We haven't talked anything about our contract with water and sewer tonight. We've got some time for that. Everybody needs to spend some time looking at these proposals. Because we've got to make that decision.
Did you get through?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the other? You know?
Ken from Mark, your company, and what's the name of the company?
Blue Box? Blue Box is the, it's WS or something like that.
They get a proposal also.
And it's hard to be real certain comparing apples to apples.
It's impossible.
It's virtually impossible.
It's not,
Now, if those folks, last night for hours, and I was lost, I believe, when I got done, it's when it started.
So is there, and I'm cracked, I just put in the desk in order to start reading through.
You have one.
I do have one. But is there, those of you that read it, is there an addition or an addendum for overages? Because that to me would be one of the main things to look at. Say we have some kind of overage over a certain value. How that gets built.
Something overtime.
I'm talking about like overages on chemicals, overages on rock.
Well, that's now the town takes care of.
we purchased those anyway.
We purchase chemicals.
Now, the chemicals not even in contract.
Chemicals are what they are, what they are.
Okay.
The company might have the buying power that would save us some money.
Supposedly, we're getting a better deal through Veolia buying through Brentag than what you would if you bought straight from Brentag.
The company that give us proposals that brought the treatment plants here, they're not comparing apples to apples, if you look at that closer. They're not offering as many employees.
Or then, well, we've already talked. You can't go to work from the company.
I can.
You can't?
I can, but, the only one thing that scares me is the pay and the benefits and stuff. We've got a pretty good benefit package with Veolia, and, I don't have any reason to want to work for another company. But, yeah, I don't care who signs my paycheck, but I'd hate to go backwards in any kind of benefits or vacation packages, insurance, and stuff like that. I don't know anything about him tomorrow.
That's not part of our proposal, our.
Yeah.
That's between you as an employee and them.
Yeah, but
I don't think it's even referenced.
It's not.
no.
The only difference is this one company's not going to provide 4 employees, we have to hire.
Oh, yeah.
They provide for, we pay for extra.
We have to hire 4 Donnies.
Yeah.
Put them on our pay.
We've got 8 now total. And
Can you make it with 8?
Did you have 8 now?
counting me.
They never did replace Russ?
Who what?
They never did replace Russ?
Yeah, you're looking at it.
The
always-
spot.
We've always had 7 operators and project managers.
Okay.
So that's what we've got now.
Okay.
But the employees I've got now have been there a long time. They've been up vacation, all that stuff, but none of them getting rich, but they're dependable and stable. I don't do anything to jeopardize losing any of my long-term employees. I know that's not the town's problem, but if you ever consider changing to another company like Infomart or something, it would have to be, well, I'll tell you, when Veolia took it from American Water, they let us all keep our seniority, all keep our vacation. Nothing changed much, except the name on our shirts. So, I wouldn't want to risk losing anybody I got because of the change of company. Because like y'all know, the licensed operators are certified. It's hard to replace. Me and Casey goes to a mess. We don't want to lose nobody. Yeah. Because the training and stuff, experience, you get them back up to what work they are. So it's, and I'm sure, I think Infomart would probably keep everything the same, but that's certainly something to be considered.
Question. We need to have.
Yeah, none of us want to go back.
I'm assuming that the labor side of it can't be negotiated until after the contract's in place anyway, so it's up to us to ask that.
All right, anything else? All right, thank you much for adjourn.
Motion,